Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned seven-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Published and Paid podcast, where we discuss all things self-publishing and publishing your intellectual property through books, courses, consulting offers, and speaking, and getting paid for it, as well as leadership lessons, business development, and life strategy. I'm Jasmine Womack, your host, and I'm excited to be here with you today. And today's topic, I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of insight into how I manage my time as a busy mom and CEO. So I get asked often, Jasmine, how do you do it all? Let me tell y'all something for real. I don't want to do it all. I do not want to do it all, but I like being productive. I've always been just a very goal-oriented person. And so I like doing things. I like accomplishing goals and achieving things. I think it's just part of my makeup because of the type of family I come from and my bloodline. But I've had to really learn how to manage my time as a mom, a wife. Let me rephrase that, a wife, a mom, and then a CEO, right? Because each relationship requires a different part of me. And over the years, I've just really learned how to take things in stride. So I really don't believe in work-life balance. I just believe in harmony. And I believe in things just kind of being like it is what it is. And you're going to have to make it work in a way that works for you. Now, there are some times that of course are extremely challenging. Probably I would say week before last, we just had a lot going on. The month of July, we had a lot going on. For instance, we went to Costa Rica for vacation. And then when we got back, me and my son caught the flu. So he caught it first. He was up under me. And then, of course, I caught it. And then I had some very pressing timelines and deadlines to make in the business. I had my end of the summer projects for my doctoral program were due in two classes that I was enrolled in. And my husband had to do some travel for his family. It was family reunion one weekend. The following weekend, he had to go out of town to celebrate his grandmother's 98th birthday. But that same week, it was like the week before school got back. He that same week he had to go out of town. He was also working 12, 16-hour days at work. Like, it was insane. He was working very long hours. I was working very long hours, finishing up school, doing things for the business. I had a in-person mastermind retreat. I had clients who came in for a small group VIP day as well. It was just a lot going on during that particular week. And I'm so thankful because my mom had the kids for that week because she said she wanted to spend a week with them. And so it just fell on that week where it was just like me and my husband, we worked. We came home by the time he was coming home at 9 p.m. from work, I was finishing up work and we would just go out to eat and have a nightcap and come home. Like, I'm just so grateful for the kids not being home that week because it was insane. But there are times when things are like that. It's busy. Daughter has volleyball practice, son has basketball games. We've got projects due. We've got these things due. We've got these things due for work. I'm in a doctoral program and it's like, oh my gosh. Okay. So how do we actually do it all and manage the responsibilities efficiently? And that's what I'm talking about today. So there are It when I'm in the roles of being mom, being wife, being mom, being CEO, those are different hats and they all require different parts of me. Like I'm not going to have my boss hat on when I'm talking to my husband because just two alphas just are not going to mix, right? It's just not happening, right? You're going to bump heads and that's not what we want. So so I've had to learn how to leave the CEO part of me in my office. And then when I come out, I'm wife, I'm mom. And I'm still learning. I don't say that I've perfected it, but I'm a lot better now than I used to be. Right. One of the things that has really, really helped me, especially since I do this full time, is that I have my start date, I have my start times, I have my end times. And when I end, I end. I no longer bring my laptop out of my office. I used to if I needed something I had to do, I would just bring my laptop out my office, but then I would find myself working this I leave my laptop in my office. And a goal that I'm setting for myself now is to put my phone down at a certain time. Like when my children are around, I'm not looking at my phone and I put it down on the charging deck at a certain time and that's it for the night. And doing that is helping me to really get back into establishing a wind down routine and giving myself an opportunity to shut my brain down. Oftentimes, we can't shut our brains down and our brains are on go mode because we're always being stimulated and we never give ourselves the time to actually just slow down. Sometimes managing your time is as simple as making a decision on what you're gonna do and what you're not gonna do. Like, I made the decision that I have a lot on my plate between husband, children, being back in school, running a business. I am physically not going to be able to do everything, and some things in this season are going to receive a no. They're just gonna receive a no. Does it mean it's gonna be like this forever? No. But does this mean that I have to be very clear and direct on how I'm managing my time and being honest about that and being honest about not being able to overextend myself? Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I like to do is that I actually plan on the weekends. I do my meal planning on the weekends. I actually like cooking our food. I don't necessarily want someone else coming in to do that. So between Saturdays and Sunday mornings after church, I actually like Saturday evenings, Saturday afternoons better. But we go grocery shopping for the upcoming week. I always have a list and my husband and I, when we go together, we work off of the list. If it's not on the list, we typically don't get it. I make a list based on what I'm going to make. So, like right now, it's Thursday, the time of this recording. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to cook next week, what we're going to need in order for me to cook those things. And I typically will make a meal every single night because my husband's one of those foodies who does not like leftovers. I eat leftovers. The kids will eat leftovers. He doesn't like leftovers. He's funny with food like that, right? So I cook every night, but I make sure that there are meals that can be cooked within 30 minutes. It is not going to take all day. If it's something that's going to take longer, then it's crock pot. And that just is what it is. And so I make sure that we plan our schedules, that we're all, on one accord with what we have coming up for the following week. Everybody knows what's going on. If I have a lunch or something, I make sure that my husband and my children know that. And I plan ahead. So, like, when I know we're going to have a late evening, like maybe my daughter has volleyball practice and it's in the evening, or maybe my son has a game. Dinner is going to be made before we leave, and I plan for that. So that means I shut my work day down at about 3:30 so that by the time the children come home, the dinner's ready by 4:30. We're good to go. So it's either I'm gonna plan to make dinner early or me and my husband are gonna have a conversation and we already know that we're going to eat out. So it's just a lot of it's just planning ahead and having conversations and everybody just kind of being on the same page with what's going to be done, how it's going to be done, running off of routines and documenting everything on a schedule. When you need house help, be willing to hire the house help, whether it's a cleaning service, whether it's outsourcing laundry. Be willing to do that, whether it's putting things together. I will hire someone from TaskRabbit or Thumbtack in a heartbeat to put some items together. And I really don't like that. I've liked TaskRabbit and Thumbtack for a while, but like just with where I am now with safety reasons, you really don't know who's coming to your house. So now I do have a consistent handyman who I can trust and call on because they work with everybody in my family. My mom, my aunts, my brothers, my sisters. So I have a handyman person now who will come over and put things up, put things together if me and my husband are pressed for time and we're not able to do it ourselves. I don't have a problem with outsourcing. However, sometimes people have a problem with outsourcing and they're like, I don't want anybody in my house. You better get somebody and stop feeling like you've got to do everything yourself. And then in the same token, you're stressing yourself out, you're overwhelmed, you're tired all the time simply because you won't pay somebody to help you. I remember it was something my husband kept saying that he was going to do. I think it was put some things up on the wall and put some things together. And I could just see his schedule. I knew he wasn't going to be able to do it. I bought in the handyman person, not as any sign of disrespect or anything like that, but because I knew he didn't have the capacity to do it, although he wanted to. And it wasn't until the guy came and we had everything set up in like 3 hours. My husband's like, man, this would have taken me all day. He was like, my wife is really expanding my mindset around hiring people because he was just talking to the guy. He was like, because you had this done in like 3 hours. I would spent all day doing this and I've been able to just kind of relax. Like you can hire people to do things that need to be done without you actually having to do the work. And you take that time to relax. You take that time to take a nap. You take that time to do something else. You take that time to spend some time with your family. So hiring help at home is necessary when needed. Like you can download the app Share and have someone to come and do your laundry for you. They'll come pick it up and they'll bring it back 24 hours later clean, fresh, folded. All you have to do is put it up. You can have someone to do your grocery shopping for you via Instacart. If you don't want someone coming to your house and dropping the groceries off, you can actually order your groceries through Instacart and schedule a pickup time where you just literally drive to the store that's nearest you. You sit in the pickup parking space on the app. You let them know you're there, and then the people from the store will bring you the groceries. Takes 10 minutes. Yes. So hiring out does not necessarily always mean that you have to have people come to your house. You can have people get the things for you, and then you go and pick them up. Yes. Definitely hiring a housekeeping services from time to time. Going on to TaskRabbit or Thumbtack and hiring a professional organizer to come in and organize things so that you don't spend your whole entire Saturday trying to get things together. Be willing to hire out and pay for it because that time that you would have spent doing that, now you can spend that making money in your business. Now you can spend that, resting, spending time with your family, taking a nap, taking care of yourself. And these are some things that I do to make sure that everything is balanced. Planning ahead, prepping the meals ahead, making sure that our calendars or schedules are on track, making sure that I do not over jam. Thank you so much, sweetheart. My husband just bought something into me. Making sure that I don't over jam my schedule because I used to have a horrible habit of doing that. And I'm getting out of doing that. Like what I have capacities for is what I have capacity for. And that's it. For me, sticking to a time schedule, especially since I'm in school, is paramount. Stopping my work days at 3:30 p.m., spending my time in the evenings with my family, and doing my schoolwork from 8 to 9:30 every night. It's a requirement. That means that by 8 o'clock, the kids need to be fed and in the shower. They have some time to themselves to wind down, but that gives me time to do what I need to do every single evening so I can make sure I stay ahead. Okay. You have to set clear boundaries for work and family time to ensure that they're not neglected. This also requires me to get up a little bit earlier so that I can make sure I take care of myself. So I get up typically around 5 a.m., work out till 6:30 a.m., wake up between 4:30 and 5, work out for an hour and a half, make sure I take a shower, and then make sure I have my morning time. It's a requirement. I don't always do a 90-minute workout. If I'm only able to get in a 60-minute workout, that's what I'm going to do. But trust and believe, I've got to do that for myself before I go and serve anyone else. So these are some of the things that I have done to just kind of manage my time. When I was building my business, working a 9 to 5, it was the same thing. I had to employ the same strategies that I used when I was in grad school. Have the kids down at a certain time, and from 9 to 11 o'clock every single night, I worked on my business. That's how I worked on my business while I was working my job. When I was in the car on my commute, I wasn't talking to friends on the phone, chit chatting. I was not listening to the radio. I was conducting sales calls during my commute. I had a 90-minute commute every single day. Any blanket of time that I had, I would use that to work on my business. If I had 30 minutes for lunch, during lunch, I was creating some social media content and scheduling it out. It was a constant, not if or that. It was this and that. And so you have to be dual, and you have to be willing to do this and that, and just be extremely protective over your time and your own health so that you don't go into burnout, so that you don't go into overextending yourself. Give you your yes and stick to it. Set your schedules, stick to it. There's always going to be more to do in the business. Know when to shut it down. At your time to shut it down and walk away from it. You don't want your business to become your life. It's to add to your life. It's to help you create the life you desire. It's not to replace your life. And ultimately, too many business owners allow their businesses to replace their lives simply because they don't have the proper boundaries or expectations in place. All right. I hope that this was helpful for you. Definitely reach out and let me know what you learned from this. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share this with someone that you know, and follow me on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook at the Jasmine Womack. And if you're ready to implement some life and business systems, I invite you to join me at Published and Paid Live, the only 2-day live experience for experts who are ready to transform their $1 million message into a best-selling book and high-ticket coaching program. Definitely make sure that you reserve one of the few remaining seats at www.publishedandpaidlive.com. Until next time, peace, love, and impact.